Alright, I'm going to show you how to make your own word sleuth in Pages. So instead of you having to troll through Pinterest trying to find one that is relevant for your topic and spending hours doing that, you can make one that you know is relevant to your topic and it'll only take you a few minutes. I like to add these word sleuths in at the end of a worksheet set. So I'll show you some simple steps to make it look interesting and how students can complete it. The first thing you need to do is insert a table, and you can either click table in the middle top or insert a table this way. Let's insert a table from the middle top. Move your mouse to the side and hold and drag in. Add in a few more columns and a few more rows. Then you can resize your table, and using the circle in the top left hand corner, you can then move your table around. If you find that it's locked or stuck in position, go over to the side on the Format tab, click on Arrange, and choose None. You can then drag your table wherever it needs to be. The next step is to fill your table in with all the words that you'd like to see in your word sleuth. Now, when you start typing out your letters, you might notice that the text is quite small and it's aligned to the left and to the top. So let's fix all the cells to start off with so that our text is large enough and centered in the middle. So I'm going to undo this by pushing Command Z. I'll click in the first cell, hold and drag out. On my Format tab under Text, I'm going to increase the size of the font, center it, and then align the text to the center of the cell. I'll type in one of the cells and make sure my text is formatted how I want it to be. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. So now I can go through and add in all my words. Use Tab to move to the next cell quickly. You can use the down arrow to move down between the cells. Once you've put all the words into the word sleuth, then you can write out the clues and the words for the students. So grab a text box by either going Insert a text box or clicking in the top middle. Move your text box and resize it. Now you can type your words out as they appear on the word sleuth or in alphabetical order. I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So I've got all of my words typed out, but they don't really fit the space very well, and the font isn't that large for students to read. So let's fix this up so it looks a little bit better. What we're going to do is put this into columns. So I'll highlight the text, and over in the Format tab under Text and under Layout, I can see I've got columns here, and there's only one at the moment. So I've put 4 columns in, but it hasn't really done much to my text. So why is that? So if I click on Style, the first thing I'm going to do is make my font a lot larger and resize my text box. Okay, so you can see after I've resized the text box, it's looking a little bit better, but I'm still really not happy with it. I'd probably like just 2 words in each column. So let's do a little bit more editing. Alright, so after a little bit of moving around and resizing text to make it bigger or smaller and seeing what worked and what didn't, I finally managed to get most of my words into my columns and 2 words, but I'm still missing one of my words, and I'll show you what to do so you can make it into a question for students as well. So I'm just going to move some of the things around to give us a little bit more room on the page. So the next step that we'll do is fill in all the blank cells with other letters to fill in our word sleuth. I filled in all the spaces with some letters, and now I'm just going to do a little bit more formatting of the table. You can see that each alternative row is grey, and you might want to leave that, but it could make it too easy for students, so let's change the background so it's all white. I'll click in the top corner and drag to the bottom. Over on the Format tab, I'll choose Cell. At the moment it says No Fill, so let's click on here and choose Colour Fill. And I'm just going to choose white for the background. And then we'll edit the border. At the moment it's only on outside borders. Let's choose all borders. And I'm going to choose 1 point and then click off. Alright, it's starting to look a little bit better, but it's a bit boring and we still need to add that question in and probably a title and a bit of decoration to make it a little bit more interesting. The first thing I'm going to do is a little bit of decoration. I'm going to go into shapes and choose a square. And I'm going to move it to the corner and resize. Now everything's going to move around when I do this. But if I go to arrange and choose none, everything will jump back up again. Let's go to style and I'm going to choose advanced gradient fill. And I'm going to try to make the background or the box look like the ocean. So over on my advanced gradient fill, I've got a lighter blue, a medium blue and a dark blue. Also notice there's a line down the middle of the box and this is your gradient spread. So when I click on the green dot and drag it up, and even on a diagonal, it will move the way the gradient appears. When you're happy with it, I'm going to click on the box, go to my Format tab and Arrange, and send it to the back. It's starting to look a little bit better, but let's go into the Shape menu and see if we can find some of the different animals that we have in our word sleuth. So if I click up on Shapes, I can see in my list I have animals. And if I scroll down, I should be able to find some of those animals like a whale and a seal and maybe a dolphin, and add them around the outside of my word sleuth. So let's grab this seal first. If you notice that things are starting to move around when you put your seal there, make sure you go over to the Format menu, click on Arrange, and under Text Wrap, choose None. I have added in a whale and a dolphin at the top. Okay, we're almost there. Let's just add in a few more things. I'm not going to put in a text box for the title, but I'm going to use a shape instead. I'm going to double click in the shape and give it a title. Now if I want to, I could make this box blue like the ocean and just see what it looks like. I might decide that I like it better as black, or I could make it white and make the text blue. So let's have a little play around with it. I'm not too happy with that either, so I'm going to undo and just go back to black with white. Now down the bottom, there's two problems happening here. Our text is a bit hard to read on this navy background, and we've got this plus here as well. This means that there's an extra word, and this is what we were talking about before, taking the extra word out and turning it into a question. We want to remove the plus so it's not there when we send this worksheet to students. We can always resize, but that will move my formatting around, so let's undo that. And I'm going to double click next to this word and just arrow down and then delete. I've deleted the word whale, so the plus has gone away. Let's change the color of the font. So I'm going to highlight all of my words, come over to my Format menu and text, and go to text color and choose white. And I might make this bold too. I think the contrast is starting to look a little bit better. The last thing we're going to do is add in that question. So I'm going to grab the title box and copy and paste it. Resize and write my question in here. Format my text a little bit. So we've added in the question, what is the missing word? So students know that there is an extra word than what is in the list, and it just extends the word sleuth just that little bit more. There's only one last thing we haven't done, and that's to save. So Command S. And let's save this. Now we've created our own word sleuth and we haven't had to trawl through Pinterest for hours, and we can make as many custom word sleuths as we like and airdrop these out to kids. You could also flip the task around and show students how to make their own word sleuth, and then they can make one for you for a task in class and send it back to you. There are 3 ways that students can complete this word sleuth. The first way is to use a shape, so they can use a square or a circle. So if they grab a circle, they need to remove the fill to no fill and add a line border in. Now if you want to, you can put one of these circles on the side of your worksheet and let students know that they can use this circle to find the words. They just need to copy and paste this circle and then resize it over the words they find. So for example, if we look at the word pelican, they can resize the circle so it fits over the word. If students are doing the word sleuth on their iPad, they can use their Apple Pencil to answer the questions. All they need to do is double tap their Apple Pencil on the screen to access the drawing tools. Choose one of the different pens, and then students can use this to find the words. Let's try using voice control. Go into settings, scroll down to accessibility, go to voice control, and toggle this on. Back into Pages, and we can use voice control with the grid overlay to complete the word sleuth. Wake up. Show grid continuously with 15 rows and 15 columns. Start drag 28, end drag 73. Wake up. Show grid continuously with 16 columns and 16 rows. Start drag 21, end drag 25. Voice control can be a little bit tricky, but it's an interesting way to complete the word sleuth.